Kia ora e te whānau and welcome to PSA Youth's video series. We like to call this Congress 101. In this session we will discuss the structure of the PSA and talk a little bit about the agenda for Congress. Some of these terms you'll know from our last session. As you can see from the governance structure, there are many areas of the PSA. Now, just a reminder, this is the governance structure, and the staff of the PSA are part of the operational structure, and their accountability goes through to the national secretaries. Now, you can see some small arrows that show you the roads that lead to Congress. Members in workplaces elect their delegates, who vote for their representation on sector committees. These committees then nominate a representative to sit on the executive board on their behalf. Also supporting the structure, we have networks, which inform how we organise. We also have some rules that inform representation. When creating committees, the PSA rules state that the gender representation reflects that of the union. There's a representative youth and a member of Te Runanga that sits on all committees and all levels of the PSA. All of the elected members have a mandate, which is a delegated authority, and we'll touch on that a little bit more in another session. The Secretariat are employed by the board and all other staff are employed by the Secretariat. They do this to make sure the aims and strategies of the PSA happen. Staff provide the technical expertise to help members. Staff do not influence governance matters. Now, we've talked a little bit about Te Runanga o NatoAfina in our last session, but we're going to touch on them again as part of the governance structure. They're a body that exists to help us govern in a way that is Te Tira-led. They're not a network and are recognised as their own body. Now that we've talked about the structure of the PSA, let's talk about the Congress agenda. You've got some pretty important stuff to talk about at Congress, so the agenda is fairly structured. Make sure you keep an eye out on the time, or you may get locked out of a session and miss your chance to represent your member's voice. The first day of Congress is all about getting you signed in, and then there's an annual report and financial report. This is the accountability for what the PSA has been up to. Next is the notices of motion. These will be throughout the next few days, so don't get overwhelmed with motions. You've got a meeting with your sector for a bit, and then at the end of the day, you get to hang out with them again and eat food. The next day includes more motions, but also a panel discussion and a guest speaker. Te Runanga will be having a caucus, and other members will be attending a marketplace, so you can find out a little bit more about things such as union aid. In the afternoon, we get into business. You'll get to know the presidential candidates, and there'll be elections the next day. There's also a Congress photo on that second day, and we recommend that you go so that those you're representing will know you're definitely there. That evening, everyone gets to dine together and celebrate those who have been outstanding in their PSA commitment. They're getting a life membership. On the third day, we've got a few rounds of balloting for the presidential election, a guest speaker, and an update on the Manawahine claim that we've lodged with the Waitangi Tribunal. There'll also be some workshops and a launch of the new PSA app. There'll be a speech from the Council of Trade Union President, and then we get to know who our new president will be. We'll give thanks to the President, Janet Quigley, and thank her for her amazing work over the past 2 years and say farewell. Then we wrap up and head home ready to impart what you learnt to your workplaces. To make sure you're prepared for Congress, we've got these good tips. Tune in to Congress 101, watch all the videos and talk to those that have attended Congress before. Ask questions, do your homework, and you'll be all prepared for Congress 2020. Hopefully that has helped you to understand what will be going on at Congress and how we work as an organisation. If you want to know something more or you've got a question, drop a comment in the video below, DM us or send us an email at psay@psa.org.nz. Thanks again for listening and see you at Congress.